Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of The Realm / the Southlands Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. We're right back where we saved. Here's the council hall. So, we have got to kill some time. So let's maybe buy some more arrows. Let's see how many Carlo has. 92. And Griselda has 60. I think that's actually good for now. And Amanda has 46 darts. Let's have Amanda buy 12 more darts. Okay. Back at the council hall. So as soon as the sun goes down, we have a meeting. So I'm going to look on each square, and it's past 10 minutes. Sun is down. The working folk of Saltmarsh head indoors. Let us go into the council hall. You are greeted by Lord and Lady Whittingham. Master Comfer introduces you briefly and then excuses himself for a brief bow. Lord Whittingham smiles and opens his mouth to speak. We welcome you to Saltmarsh, Lady Whittingham offers, fanning herself happily. Oh. We welcome you to Saltmarsh. She goes on, elbowing her husband in the ribs to shut his mouth. Master Comfer informs us that you are interested in investigating the old alchemist home outside of town. There are many rumors concerning the horrors that remain in that place. Many rumors indeed. The alchemist home lies on some very fine property that could be worth quite a sum to the right investor, and very lucrative for the people who make it possible for that investor to safely develop it. Lady Whittingham smiles, though her eyes are cold, calculating. A trifle, something to keep in mind. The council would be very interested in seeing the haunted house removed from the forefront of the people's mind. Isn't that so, my lord? Lord Whittingham smiles at his wife rather feebly and nods, bristling with pride. His wife turns to you and dismisses you with a wave. Several minutes later, the Lord and Lady Whittingham are riding out of Saltmarsh in their carriage. In the morning, then, you shall be able to mount your expedition north from Saltmarsh. Okay. So let's get a room. How about 9 hours? 5:31 a.m. North. Do you follow the trail to the alchemist home? Here we go. Yes. The haunted house stands on the cliff top 70 feet above sea level and about 80 feet from the cliff edge. The 6-foot-high stone wall surrounding the garden has partially collapsed in a number of places. Access to any part of the garden is simple, even if the main gate on the cliff is ignored. This gate, of a heavy and ornate metal construction, is still functional and stands open. The garden itself is overgrown and shows no sign of any care for years. However, any part of the garden and the main earth driveway can be easily traversed. The house is 35 feet high from ground level to roof ridge. The roof is peak-pointed and gabled with several holes from missing slates. Cobwebs blow in the windows. Nature has taken back much of this territory. Stand among the crack-weathered remains of a paved patio. There's a little pile of refuse in the southeast corner, otherwise this living area is bare. A hush falls over the room. You sense a presence. A tingling rises the hair on the back of your neck, and then you hear a booming voice echoing from the ceiling above. "Welcome, fools! Welcome to your deaths!" Deep, resounding laughter fills the room, loud enough to cause the walls to shake. The very sound of it speaks of madness. Something primal within you bucks in terror, and you find the world turning to a blur. When your vision clears, you find yourself huddled in the corner of the broken patio. The hearth stands cold and empty. Webbing has been strung in thick strands. Who investigates the hearth? Griselda. Griselda kneels and climbs partially into the fireplace in order to examine the chimney. Soot rains down on your friend. After a few minutes, the search ends fruitlessly. You poke around in the pile of refuge, but nothing turns up. This room was once a writing room or study. Against the wall under the windows is a large wooden writing desk partially broken and riddled with damp rot. These shelves are bare. The books that once covered them rot on the floor at your feet. Time has warped and nearly broken this old reading bench. Wait. There are 3 doors in each pedestal of this desk and a large central door. The latter is closed, but the other 2 are open. 2 obviously broken open forcibly. You search the debris on the floor. You find nothing of value among the rotted cloth and parchment on the floor. You unlock the central drawer. Who attempts the lock? Griselda. The lock clicks open despite the rust keeping it shut. Pulling open the drawer, you reveal a heap of valueless documents, receipts for payments on the purchase of chemicals and laboratory equipment. "Wait," mutters one of your friends. You watch as he lifts the documents and then, using niches in the side of the drawer for handholds, lifts a false bottom. Lying in the cavity below is a glass vial containing a watery rose-colored liquid with a spicy aroma. Carefully, you wrap the vial and tuck it into a sack. Each share is 66 XP. You search here for valuables. Take the potion. Huh. You can tell this room was once a library with bookshelves around the walls. Most of the bookshelves are broken now and in many places have come away from the wall altogether. Those few shelves still intact are empty, but there's a pile of books in the southwest corner. The heap of books lying on the floor here appears to be composed mainly of histories and collections of romantic poetry. All have been partially spoiled by damp, mold, and mice, but most are still legible. A careful search reveals that several of the 14 books are by notable authors. Pulling them from the cobwebs and vermin droppings, you read the titles along the spines. The Magical Properties of Gemstones by Mage Tensor, The Magical Properties of Herbs and Flowers by Mage Tensor, The Metaphysics of Mathematics by Mage Nistel. While no vendor in Saltmarsh could appreciate the value of these 3 tomes, certainly a merchant in the county of Eeyore could give you a worthy price. You take the books? Yes. Carefully, you slip the books into a large sack. The book by Mage Nistel comes open as you tuck it away, and a folded sheet of parchment falls out. Catching it, you carefully pull it open. The page you hold was obviously torn from a larger sheet. On it are a few lines of handwritten text in the common tongue. It has been spoiled by damp so that only 2 words are still legible. Beyond skeletons. Okay, I would like to save. Letter C. You step into the Great Hall. Passages lead deeper into the house to the north and across the room to the east. A flight of steps leads upward from the southeast corner. Be right back. Alright. Let's check the place out. Notice I'm not searching everywhere. I'm just pressing look on the tiles that I think might have something. Okay, this is the front door. The front opens onto a musty, dirty entrance hall. To your left, a corridor leads into the west wing of the house. On either side of the corridor opening, the walls are bare, but some pieces of wood in the corner near the window indicate that a small wooden table or chair once stood there. Ahead of you, another corridor leads toward the rear of the house. To your right, a staircase climbs to the next story, reaching it at a balcony which overlooks the hall along its north and west sides. The stairs appear safe to climb, though the balcony rail is broken in places. Under the stairs are the rear of the hall. A third corridor leads east. Okay. So that goes north. I came this way. Okay, those are the steps. Let's head this way. 2 stuffed armchairs stand in the fireplace of this room. The covers of both have been torn and cut, and the stuffing has been pulled out. However, the wooden frames are still intact. The pieces of a broken table lie on the floor near the north wall. The old hearth in the west wall is cold and covered in dust and webbing. Who investigates the hearth? Griselda. Griselda leans into the hearth and thrusts an arm into the darkness overhead. There's a loose stone here. Hold on, I think it's covering something here. A metal box. Suddenly, a heavy furred spider drops from the shadows. Gingy is paralyzed. Oh no. Dead. 12 experience. The creature's held no valuables. Kicking the spider to the side, you investigate the box you have uncovered. It is locked. You pick the lock. Who attempts the lock? Griselda. Your friend nods as the lock clicks and the box opens to reveal a finely set ring. 66 XP. Ring. Share. Oh, that reminds me, I have that ring of invisibility, and I don't know how to use it. Be right back. Okay, I'm not sure, but let's have Cyrus equip it. Because his AC is higher than Gingy's and Tessa's. Oh, I don't want to select that. Two stuffed armchairs. Are on a floor to the north. Nothing else in here. At one time, a long table stood in the center of this room. Now it lies broken, though still recognizable on the floor. A broken chair stands against the north wall between the windows. There is a heap of broken china in the northwest corner. This whole hearth stands cold and cobwebbed. Griselda leans into the fireplace and thrusts an arm into the chimney. After a few minutes, your friend gives up. You poke through the china, but it is shattered beyond use. It conceals nothing but the scarred floor. This was obviously the kitchen. It is dirty and damp, with patches of gray mold and a few cobwebs on the floor, walls, and ceiling. In the corner to your left is some iron cooking equipment with chimney above. Next to it, under the window, is a cracked and discolored stone sink. To the right of the sink, a small closed wooden cupboard is fixed to the wall about 5 feet above floor level. Against the far wall, a flight of wooden steps leads upwards from left to right. Even from the door, it is obvious that the woodwork is decayed and a few of the treads are missing. Cobwebs cling to this iron cooking pots, and the chimney is choked with webbing and soot. Giant centipedes scurry from a lair under the sink as you draw too near to their territory. Defending their lair, the creatures attack furiously. Okay. Dead. Cyrus is unaffected. I do want to turn the speed down. Well, this is easy enough. $63, and the creature's held no valuables. And what is this? Just a hole in the wall. Looking about carefully, you find that the cupboard is bare. The steps lead upward and are missing a few treads. They do appear to be passable with difficulty. This room has suffered the effects of damp and decay more than most in the house. Mold grows in patches on the floor, walls, and ceiling. There are many cobwebs, though even these appear to be decaying. A large copper boiler, dented, split, discolored, and empty, stands under the window. A small heap of crockery shards on the floor beside it. Stairs lead down into the darkness of what is presumably a cellar. Steps descend into the darkness of the cellar. They appear to be traversable. Here stands the boiler. Nearby lies a heap of broken crockery shards. You see nothing of value here. Return to the kitchen. Well, I'm going to... Oh no. The interior is very dilapidated, damp, and with patches of harmless mold everywhere. Cobwebs festoon the place, and the woodwork is generally rotten while dust and dirt are thick. Rubbish is scattered about in profusion. Plaster, fallen from ceilings and walls, lies on the floor in several places. Many floorboards are loose, and some are missing entirely. There is little evidence of rodent and insect infestation. You have little difficulty seeing, though shadows cling to the corners. I want to explore the entire first floor before I go down to the basement. The only thing of any note in this room was a clump of tiny red mushrooms, apparently growing out of the floor all around the fireplace, in a roughly semicircle formation. Otherwise, the room is bare. You move through the mushrooms to search the fireplace? Yes. Carefully, you pick your way through the mushrooms and investigate the chimney. Several of the toadstool break and crumble on the floor. Who will investigate the chimney? Griselda. Griselda leans to the fireplace and thrusts an arm into the chimney. After a few minutes, your friend steps away. Griselda holds a small leather pouch. Opening it, you find an amethyst. A gemstone, a gemstone. This room is empty. The only matter of interest is the quantity of fallen plaster on the floor is significantly greater than elsewhere. Okay, now it's time to go to the basement. You stop in mid-step as you hear the back door slam shut. The gibbering of humanoid voices, guttural and low, carries through the house. And then they come into view, a foursome of wandering goblins, rare to the Southlands but not unheard of. The creatures have chosen to treasure in the old ruin. When they spot you, they reach for their weapons. Not a problem. Oh. Let them come to us. It's out of our range. Oh, they've got short swords, short bows too. Okay. That's out of our reach. Okay, let's try to cast. Two goblins fell asleep. Helpless. Slays the goblin in one cruel blow. Gingy, delay your turn. Nice. Nice. 9 experience. We searched the area for valuables. Oh, we got some valuables. We got some valuables. Griselda will take the 4 arrows. Let's let Tessa take everything else. Oh wait, that's not. Where was the steps down? Here we are. Oh no, this has steps going up. Oh, in here we go. Through the kitchen. Take your first step towards the cellar and the screaming begins. You hear a woman wailing in the darkness below, as if tormented by some terrible fiend. Panic wells in your chest as the screams rise and swell. It is the sound of total agony with the promise of the same for you if you intrude upon the recreation of hell. This was obviously a wine cellar. The place has fallen utterly silent. Wooden bottle racks, mostly broken, line the north and west walls to a height of 6 feet. There appears to be no intact bottles left in the racks, though there are several with broken necks. Broken bottles cover the floor beneath and near the racks. Against the east wall at the foot of the stairs are 2 large metal storage bins which appear to be empty. In the center of the room lies a human corpse clad in plate mail. A long sword lies by the corpse's right hand and a large shield lies across the legs. Guess what? The creeping steps led out on the scullery. I'm not going there yet. I am going upstairs. The stairs creak ominously as you ascend, but they are safe enough. At the top, you reach the gallery, which is in the north and west walls of the hall. To the east and west, the corridor appears to stretch the full width of the house, doors leading off to the south. Opposite the western portion of the gallery is another corridor leading north. My oh my. Once perhaps a fine guest bedroom, this is now decayed like the rest of the house. Rubbish is scattered around. There is some evidence of rodent infestation and some webs hanging torpid in the corners. A four-poster bed, once a grand piece of furniture, is against the wall opposite the fireplace. Woodwork is worm-ridden, and the curtain which once screened the bed is torn and stained. There is no bed linen, but the carcass of the bed is relatively intact. The hearth stands cold and long unused. Only the spiders and rats come here now. You look carefully through the hearth and chimney, but there's nothing of interest to be found. Your careful search turns up nothing of interest in the bed or nightstand. What was once a fine master bedroom now stands dirty and decayed. Some of the floorboards are missing and there is rubbish scattered around. A tall wooden cupboard stands against the wall opposite the fireplace, its door closed. Ooh, I like closed cupboards. Search of the fireplace reveals nothing of interest. To the west stands the cupboard. Carefully, you open the cupboard door, revealing that it contains two items, a pair of old, cracked leather boots and a dirty, ragged, stained cloak hanging on a peg. Do you take these items? Yes. You reach out to the cloak, touching it carefully in case of infestation or trap. You glimpse the yellow mold that has grown to line the interior of the cloak for only an instant before your prodding disturbs it. There is a rush of air as mold explodes in a cloud of poisonous spores. The spores burn the lungs. Ouch. And seek to clog the lungs. Slamming the door, you stagger back from the lingering spores. And 3 people are dead? And I have no way to save them, so I've got to load. Please tell me Tessa has those items, though. No. Clicking noise alerts you to dark creatures in the corridor before you. Looking more closely, you see that half-dozen giant worker ants have burrowed into the house from the outside, foraging. You continue towards them. The ants take offense at your intrusion and turn on you. Maybe it's a random event. That those goblins attacked. Gotta kill this thing like quick. There we go. 64, the creatures held no valuables. Okay, we found the gemstone. Nothing else in here. And there's nothing in here. Cast Cure Light Wounds on yourself. Cast Cure Light Wounds on Gingy. For some reason we can't rest in here, and that's kind of bugging me out. Oh, yeah, here come the goblins. He's got a pick. He's got a bow. Mace, short sword, short bow. Let's get that short bow guy out of there. Nice. Helpless. Okay, so Zelda can take the arrows. Tessa can take everything else. Now we save. And that does it for this episode. Next time I try to figure out how to sleep, maybe I have to go outside and sleep. And we'll explore more of the second floor. So until then, I will see you guys later. Stay tuned. It's a very fun adventure, as you can see. And I'll see you next time. So long, everybody.